everybody. Happy Sunday. I'm tired, but we're here. Let's welcome in James from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. Good morning,
Hey,
James.
hey, hey, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for being here with us on this lovely Sunday. Be blessed. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my girl's channel. Make sure you show her some love, like the video, so we can get this algorithm going. Because doing shows like this definitely test our patience. So we appreciate y'all being here, and we would appreciate a subscribe or a comment or two in return.
I love it. That was so official. You guys, also the link to James's channel is in the description of this video, especially those who may come across this live. You likely watch other shows on the OWN network. He recaps quite a few, I think most of
Mm-hmm.
the most relevant shows on the OWN
Yeah,
network.
so to kind of touch on that, on the 15th, Love and Marriage Detroit is coming back. I will be covering that again. I'll pick up where I left off to finish the season. And then also, OWN is getting another Never Ever Met esque kind of TV show that I will cover on my channel. It involves men choosing women along with their mothers, and you guys know I do not like that dynamic whatsoever. So this is going to be an extreme challenge for me to see this show in any great light that I see it. I already feel like I'm going to be calling out a whole bunch of esque, and if y'all don't want to miss it, y'all will subscribe to my channel and see it
When is the show coming out?
the same day that Love and Marriage Detroit is premiere. So I have literally two shows back to back.
Okay. It said
Mhm.
Love and Marriage Detroit was coming on the 12th. I was just watching. I'm
Oh,
like, that is
I
a
might have no.
Saturday.
I might have my days mixed up. Hold on, let me look.
They got a
I have
bunch of
something
shows
going on.
coming
Oh, you
back.
know what? I have a doctor's appointment on the 15th. That's what it is.
Not a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, so I
Oh,
confused the date. That's what it is. I'm looking at my calendar now. Yeah,
that's
I
also
have
tax day. Get your taxes filed.
my taxes been filed, bro. I'm good. So yeah, so Love and Marriage Detroit and whatever the Mama and the Son show. I need to get the name of that show. I never remember, but I just know I want to recap it on my show on my channel.
Mhm.
So they both premiere on the same day. So
Well,
on
hopefully
Sundays,
it'll be better than the TLC version because theirs is weird.
oh yeah, the Cougar show with the little
No, there's
boys.
a mama's boy dating show.
I don't like that concept. I think that is ridiculous. I think that is stupid. But that's not what we're here talking about. We're here talking about Never Ever Met. So we can go in a rabbit hole about this then.
It's weird. TLC, I see OWN is taking a lot of TLC shows and ideas that they've done, and it seems like they're doing them correctly. So thank you to OWN for that. Because TLC shows be a hot mess, but we'll get into that another time, y'all. We're going to start by introducing the couples. Not every couple is on the screen. This is just a little still shot from Google. I'll be changing it out each week, but the couples that are on the screen right here are some of the couples I think me and James can agree we had the strongest opinions, but let's introduce all of them that we met on the show. The first people that we met in terms of couples, well, women, was Charlie. She is 34 years old. It looked like she a clear woman. Nothing wrong with that. I just couldn't tell if she was of mixed origin or whatever. So I'm gonna just refer to her as a clear woman. But she is dating, she's from Dallas, Texas. She's dating a young man named Jared. He's 32 from Columbia, South Carolina. And so these two have an interesting story. They did go to high school together, but they never met. They both have pictures from the same high school. There's a little bit of an age difference, but not too much. But they just never met each other. It sounds like they may have had different friend groups, which I can understand. There's people from my high school that I just never got the chance to get to know. So that's understandable. But they noticed this by, I guess they had a lot of mutual friends and things of that nature. So I guess the reason off the gate, she gives us red flags. She's like, the reason they have not met in person is because of her lack of honesty. And she then tells us this crazy story. Now, I'm going to do my best and be kind, right? And I'm going to just introduce the couples and then
Mhm.
we'll do our opinions later. But she tells a story where she says that due to them being long distance, she felt like he was cheating. She said her women's intuition told her that that man was cheating. So she decided she going to go and cheat back, which you're not supposed to do. It's easier just to leave. Why engage? But I digress. Now, her way of cheating back, not only did she sleep with somebody else that night that she got that feeling, but she did it with no protection, no birth control, and she wound up getting pregnant. And she says she's from Texas. And for those who don't know, because we know that her child is young, abortions ain't legal there no more because a bunch of bald white guys in the Supreme Court decided that they have the right to say things about the woman's body parts that they don't have. But okay. So I do understand her keeping the baby. For those who are like, why would she keep the baby? She's in Texas. So she probably had no choice but to keep the baby. My question is, if you know that you live in a state where abortion is not legal, and you know that the only reason you going is sitting on some what is because you think that your man done did you wrong, so you trying to get him back, then why can't you go get some good dick and wear a condom or take a plan B?
No, why is that? No, why is that the way you chose to handle things? Like, why would that be the situation when you could have just called him and asked him if that's what he was doing, regardless of the answer? Because if he lied to you, you know you're not supposed to be with him. Or if he told you the truth, then you need to make a conscious choice of whether you trust the honesty and choose to forgive, or if that's a deal breaker to be gone. But for you to go out there and go out and wild and then bring a baby home to it, it's like, that shows your character, man.
It does. She ain't shit.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on it. She just ain't shit. And it's interesting because no matter which way you look at it, it's like, no, you shouldn't cheat back. I don't know what I'm going to have to do to get my good sisters all across the planet to understand that. But when you cheat back, you just spreading your own body around and putting your own pH level at risk. It's stupid. But if you are going to cheat back, right, then do it with some sense. But then these be the same women, I'm sorry, that love to cry about these men just be making babies they don't take care of. Yeah, that's bad. But it's also bad to just be making babies because you having a feeling.
But who's to say she takes care of hers? So, like,
right, because she is on the show,
right? And
as we see later on with a month-old.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there. Let me not jump ahead.
Yeah, this chick pissed us off, I think, in more ways than one. But we are gonna come back. She does say that she hopes and prays that he forgives her. Bitch,
I don't want him to.
If you are a clear woman too, don't do that to our black men, okay?
Well, no, not only that, but don't make it seem like, it was a hindrance that because I felt he did this, it gave me the okay to do that, and then I'm going to keep the biggest secret from it. It's like, you're a big time manipulator. And
right.
I hope he sees that very early on. I'm telling y'all, like, I can't wait till we get to the end of this episode.
There's definitely more to the story, which we're going to talk about toward the end. But the next couple we met was Alicia. She's 36 from Pennsylvania, and she is dating Irvin, who is 44, and he's from Massachusetts. They've only been dating for 5 months. They are a very, very, very new couple. I can't even say it counts as a never ever met qualification. That's the complaint we had last season. Like, you're saying these are people in relationships who've never met. So I want people in relationships. Even if you claim to be in a relationship and you've met the person, 5 months ain't shit. It's just not.
I agree.
So, I'm not saying it can't work, but I don't think they qualify for this type of show, if that makes sense. So that's all I'm going to say on them. Then we meet Tatiana. She is 31. She's from LA, and she's dating, I don't know why his parents did this to him, Clavasia. Am I saying it right, James? She calls him Clay, and we will too on this channel.
It's Cavassier. I think that's liquor. I do. I think
Cavassier is liquor, not with the CL.
Yeah, I think they just spelled it a ghetto way.
Oh, Jesus.
Because that's just how it's spelled, is Cavassier. But I'm like, okay, but he's going by Cavassier, like the alcohol. So I was like, oh, okay, your parents is...
Stop looking at babies and naming them things like Letitia, Cavassier, Hennessy. Please.
I was in high school with a girl named Hennessy. And
I know. And her, I can't, I'm gonna be nice, but
yeah, me too.
I know.
Yeah.
She lived up to some stereotypes. God bless her.
So did her man, but
But I don't understand this man's name. He's 28, so he is younger than Tatiana. They want to meet in person before they make any future plans. I don't know. He was in the ATL, so whenever the man's in the ATL, I'm off the rip looking at him with a side eye, because you either done dated all of the East Coast, including the DMV, and or you hide your sexuality in some way. That's just been my experience watching television with men from there. So Tell me if I'm wrong. Prove me wrong, y'all. I hope it goes a different direction. We then meet Alexis. She's 47. She so far was the oldest woman and the oldest person on the show, to my understanding. And she is dating Christopher, who is 10 years younger than her. They didn't even care to give this man an introduction, how they put the age next to everybody else's name. They didn't do that with him. And I kept rewinding and rewinding and rewinding to make sure that I wasn't missing anything. They did not, because she wanted to announce.
You did miss it.
I missed it.
You did when they were on the
FaceTime. Because I was like, why?
He's 35, so
they did that 40 fine BS.
No, they put her real age when she explained. When you'll get to it, when she explained their circumstance, they put her age. She's 47.
So I know she's 47. I announced that, but I'm just like, child, why do you, if you're going to be older dating a younger man, whenever they immediately point that out, to me, that's the insecurity. Like,
it is insecurity, and her story later made me feel like, okay, you really aren't as okay with this as you putting that out there to be.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. What's good, Shayna? Welcome on. We are here early because I woke up and I know my DVR was talking about Never Ever Mets was back. I didn't know. I done played with the church's money. I had no clue. So I texted James, and luckily we were able to do it. It's better to do it earlier because I actually have a busy Sunday.
Yeah, because when she texted me last night, it was like really late, and girl,
I was not sober. I saw Mike Epps last night.
I created the half suite to send with my man, so I was knocked out. So, and so directly, I got her text as early as I could to say, "Hey, I'm available. Let's do it."
You was up early as hell, though, James, because you did respond. I was like, "Oh yeah, I did text him." I went to a comedy show with my husband last night. That We the Ones comedy tour. I woke up and was like, "Oh, I'm supposed to be on a hike." Also,
Shayna, did you watch it?
She said she just got out of church, so I'm right on time. Amen.
Did you watch, Shayna? Because you should have been up here with us.
I know. Are you recapping it this season, Shayna? We did. Was it the reunion or the finale that there was no reunion, I don't think. But check us. Subscribe to Shayna's channel and then type in the same name and add TV to the end of it. She has 2 channels. YouTube is playing with the church's money, and that's never acceptable. So let's support other Black creators. She said, I only watched half of it, and she'll be recapping also. So be sure to check out her channel as well. I'm excited to hear
something
that.
At the end of this season, Mrs. Best, with the 3 of us. Because I
know I will.
Because I know this season is going to be crazy.
You could tell. She's going to recap it tonight, so be on the lookout for that. I'll also be sharing the video. My phone usually alerts me to James and Shayna's lives, which is good. Gives me something to do. Now, we go keep it moving on, y'all, before we come and really analyze them. Kiki, she is 29. She's from the ATL. She is what did they call it? A plus size model. And she's dating Brandon, who's 30. So they're around the same age range. He's from Alabama, Birmingham, historic place. That's kind of going down the tubes, but hey, nonetheless, historic place. These 2 have been talking for 4 years. So they're one of the more seasoned couples in this. I'm glad they didn't bring nobody on the show like last season. We've been together 13 years, never met. That irritated me. So I'm glad to see that these are like too long, in my opinion, to not be meeting people. There's so many modes of transportation, but at least we don't have nobody who's been talking for that long. But they have not met in person, Kiki and Brandon, due to her being a big woman. She says that she's insecure about her weight. Listen, she irked me a little bit. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but tell me if you notice this, James. You say that you're proud because you're a plus size model, right? But then in the same token, you're still insecure about your weight. And I always wonder when people say that, if you're insecure about it, that's the reason to change it. Don't change it because other people have an opinion. If you don't like yourself, then do something to fix or change it, whether it involves getting in the gym, having a surgery, whatever it may be. But I don't like when people, I'm insecure, so we haven't met because of this. That's stupid. That's stupid. He could tell you big just from looking at you from face up in the camera. Right. And I'm not throwing shade because she's a beautiful girl, but this girl cannot hide that
No,
she is
she's
a big
stunning and
woman.
adorable, but yeah, I agreed with what you saw. Absolutely. I felt like for me when I was looking at her and when she was saying that, it was like, why do y'all not trust in the process of if he's been talking to you for 4 years? Obviously, he's seen you. Obviously, you have to have pictures on social media of you, and he still wanted to talk to you. I feel like certain women like to sabotage situations before they actually get in them, and I think that that's what we're looking at. I think we're looking at her wanting to find some reason to sabotage this before it even can grow. And I feel like that's doing yourself a disservice. Like, let it be real first. And then if it doesn't work, then you end it. But don't try to sabotage it before you even get in it.
That's actually very good advice for a lot of people in several situations. Because I think also now, if this was 20 years ago, like back when me and James was in high school, this girl would be getting roasted all over the internet, made into jokes and all of these things. But I think a good thing that I've seen as, we get into different decades, generations, just going through time, you're not getting attacked or viewed as someone not dateable as much as it was back in like the 90s, 2000s, early and all of that for being larger. So I do hope that this girl, be confident. The man like you clearly. He not too cute to me, but he like her. So we'll leave that there. We then get into Brittany. She's 40. She's not on this photo. So my apologies, y'all. I couldn't fit them all. But she's 40 years old and she is dating a 38-year-old from LA who dresses like a young broke rapper. His name is Ty. We learned that Brittany does have a 3-year-old, and she says that any man that she dates has got to accept her son as her own. This is a common perspective, I think, of like single moms from what I see on television. A lot of my friends who are single moms, you got half of them who are like, whatever, my kids will see everybody I deal with as long as I'm around. And then you got the other half who like don't want their kids to meet a man until they like know they gonna be married, which is different. But I like when moms prioritize their kids. However, if you want him to accept your son as his own and he's never had a son, I'm interested to see the dynamic of that. Because some people will say that, and then when the man accepts the son as their own, the mom will have an issue with them disciplining her son or disciplining her daughter or any of that. So it's like if you want someone to accept them as their own child, then let them participate in that way. But she kind of seems like she has a wall up and has been through stuff. Did you sense that, James?
It was given trauma of some sort, but
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really grasp it fully. I feel like there is something there, and I hate when women get in this dynamic of like, I have this child, and unless he said something like that would allude to the fact that he wasn't ready to accept your child, I didn't see what her gripe was. Because obviously men know this is a package deal when they get with you. Like they obviously know. Like it's hard to find a man who's not going to be okay with you having children.
I
So
agree. I agree. I agree. Now we almost through, y'all. The last people we got to be. Let me catch a comment. Shayna said half of these relationships are fake as hell. I could see that. I could
hmm
definitely see that. No
hmm
shade to OWN, but a lot of the reality shows, that's why I don't cover too much content on there, feels poorly put together. The people that they cast either seem not real or trifling. Or
yeah.
they need to take their time, I think, and they're just rushing for content. But some of them, a lot of them, which we're going to get into as we go through the dates, do seem like this is some bullshit. .com, .net, .org. Shada also said that's true. And is she willing to have more kids? She had a child later and may not want anymore. That's a really good point. That's a really, really good point.
And to me, I feel like that's counterproductive if that's the case, based on how she is entering this relationship, because I don't even know if they even tackled that as a point of conversation. It was more so, oh, well, I have this side, this son, so or is it just going to be the three of us? And it's like, okay, well, you're not leaving room for the potential of giving this man the opportunity to have his own family, if that's the
That's
case.
the truth. That is
So
the
I kind
truth.
of feel like then that's kind of a chain about a point of now, because now I'm feeling like, okay, so are you just this one and done, and he just has to accept this only being your child, and you're not give him the opportunity to have his own children?
Mm.
Because she up there in age. So that's why I'm like, okay, that kind of made me look at her a little bit differently now. I'm hoping I'm wrong because I'm willing to be wrong. But based
Yeah.
on how she was moving, it didn't seem like that. It just seemed like she was one and done. And then and just saying you just have to accept my child and this
Yep.
and that. It's like,
Yep.
okay, well, when is it going to become our child? And are we going to have our children now?
He did say he does not have kids.
He doesn't have kids. No, he doesn't yet.
Yeah, he does not have kids, but he's younger, and it's different for men. They don't have that biological clock haunting
Right.
them in the same way that us as women do. Once you over, I believe, 30, you have higher chances of producing a child with a developmental disability. Then once you're over 35, that increases into other stuff. So that's why autism, from what I remember in college, they were teaching us about why autism is so prevalent now, and they say it's because as time goes on, each generation is having kids later and later, which impacts how your kids come out and things like that.
Not
But
only that, but there also are genetic dispositions, depending on who your mate is, that can also develop into like deeper in their chromosomes and actually having them function out later too. That's why you have to be careful who you have babies with.
yeah, but people
Yeah.
don't be thinking about that. They just be
Well, I
busting
know
their
that's why I
load.
want to write a book about it, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand that your genetic makeup, depending on who your other is, you may not be compatible sexually, and that can actually transfer to your children. So that's why I'm like, we need to kind of be careful.
The thing also is people could know it and still not care the way people be making kids. But this is another good point. Y'all been talking for 4 years. Ain't no way this shouldn't have come up. And that's where
And that
Owen
was my
should have
point. Yep.
needs to have somebody other than Portia from Empire hosting. They need to have somebody with some type, or if they are just going to have her there hosting, they need to have somebody there who's like
Co-hosting.
actually a relationship expert and who is.
Well, maybe they'll bring that same
on it.
lady. I didn't watch the What's to Come, so I don't know if they'll have that same lady who was asking all the right questions the first season. If they have that same therapist there, then they'll be fine. But she needs more of a job duty.
Now, the last person we see is Cinco. He's the only man that's there because he's the only man who did not plan the date. He's dating a woman named Jay. He's 30. Jay is also 30. She's from Illinois. I did not catch where Cinco is from, but he's 6'7". So I guess that's what that is. And I guess she wants to plan the date, which is a little odd to me, but okay. She says, I don't think we need a host since they are having a therapist. Yeah, with the therapist there, Taronda's not necessary. And listen, I'm all for her having a job, but she's not enough of a personality for me to need her to stay as a host. I just don't see it. And she gives me that she'll lean and be biased towards the women, and we need a host that's fair both ways. But that's just my opinion. But let's get to the dates. This is where we're going to jump into all of the stuff. We're just going to go over what happened with each couple throughout their whole date. So the first to go was Charlie. She is going to be meeting up with Jared, and they do a pottery class, which I actually think is a great idea for a date, whether it be a first date or last date, because it forces you to talk, but you're also doing an activity. I always think that's good. If you can't talk on a date, then your relationship probably won't go far. So maybe do some dates outside of loud environments. Helps you. But this is where I realize, and I say again, bitch, you raggedy bitch, you out here doing all that you do it, cheating on your man in the wrong ways, talking about you had a feeling, not telling us the full story. You have not just a baby at home, a newborn. You have a newborn. This baby is only 1 month old. You are and you're on a date trying to meet a man who doesn't know about this baby.
Or 2 other children.
I'm just like, what? And they finally talk, and he's asking her about stuff, and she's questioning him like, anything you need to let off your chest? Bitch!
I said, oh, wow. Okay, manipulation at its best. Okay, I see what you're doing, ma'am.
She
Okay.
is some piece of work. She had me thinking of Cat Williams in the Friday After Next. I am tired of your presence, ho. You are dismissed. I was so sick of her. I really was, James.
I I was more annoyed at the fact that she was a white woman playing games on TV that we can clearly see, you know. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell
She
you,
would
Shayna.
not. I want to
I'm
know
trying
if
to tell
she
you
would do the
because she's gonna
same.
make me mad this entire season if they last the entire season.
Why you do this with a black man? Do you do this when you date other men who are not black?
She
I
don't
just
date
want to
other
know.
men that are black. She looked like the type that what was that movie called? Don't Breathe, not Don't Breathe. Get Out, Get Out. That's what
Mhm.
she reminds me of. That lady.
She and in California, I just know her type. I have nothing
Hmm.
good to say. Their date went okay, but we gonna come back to this couple because there's so much to unpack. So we just go get through the rest of the dates. Are you okay with that, James?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna save my anger for the end.
Not your anger. Now, we did see Cinco go to meet Jay. Cinco was the only man who was left behind with the women. His woman decided to plan a date. She was so concerned about his height, and now I understand it because she is tall as well. She was not much shorter than him. And she planned a date playing basketball. So I'm like, maybe that's where their bond comes from. Um, this couple, they skipped, jumped, skydive steps. They immediately kissed. They seem to have the chemistry, but on her end, I feel like he has more chemistry and seems to like her for that. On her end, you get the sense that she's like, I'm a tall woman. I'm tired of dating men shorter than me. It doesn't seem like it's something with sustenance with her. It seems like it's more like, okay, he's my height. I'm gonna make this work because she don't seem like the most feminine female, especially taking over and planning the date. I like to plan my date, please. I'll plan some dates, but please plan my dates, especially when it's early on. So I thought that was weird. Did you feel like that was weird, James?
It was weird because I could see in terms like if it was a situation where y'all have been dating for some time and y'all had already met and he is like taking you on some extravagant dates and you kind of want to return the favor just to show you appreciate him. If it was a circumstance like that, then I probably would not be so apprehensive. But the fact that she planned a date centered around her being a
Mm,
basketball coach, it kind of made me feel like, okay, so do you make your relationships all about you?
mm. That's
And
where that's something I had thought. But I was like, maybe we need to see more. But I'm so glad that you picked up on that as well, because that's
mhm,
a thing that a lot of women struggle to admit. Like good quality women, and I'll be looking like, why is my bitch single? Why is this? Because they're so self-centered, and we often view
mhm,
that as just an insult versus looking at the definition. You can't
yes.
just talk about yourself. You just can't. Not in any relationship. But we'll see. We'll
Mhm.
see. Her braids looked great. I'll give her that. It's
Well, I'm
better
gonna
than
give I'm gonna give it to These are definitely more attractive people than the first season. Definitely, everyone's hair was moisturized. Everyone's skin looked great. Good
mhm.
job, On, because this was actually a very much needed step up from the first season of People.
The first season of People looked like them people. If y'all ever come to Oakland and go to my hood, there's a place called Apartment C.
Stop,
Okay,
stop,
season one. I'm going
stop.
all the way, James. Season
No,
one cast, especially them Dominique and that girl who got in that altercation, they looked just like the OGs that get in altercations at Apartment C. Y'all Google Apartment C, DP Stokely,
please,
California. Shout
please
out to the
don't,
town.
please
I'm trying
don't,
to tell you.
please
That's how they looked.
don't do
Okay,
it,
they looked
y'all.
like the baddies cast.
I'm done with her. I'm done with you. No.
I could not.
Oh God, you about to kill me because
Shayna said this cast looks much better, but they're also faker. I even got approached to be on the show. Girl, it wouldn't surprise me. It's on. This is not the place you come for quality reality TV. We come here because we want to
I
support
wish
our
they would
people.
ask me.
Oh, hmm.
No, I'm just playing. Don't ask me because I'm gonna cuss everybody out. So don't ask me.
I never get asked for shit. I've been with the same
No, they know
person
not
too
to ask me
long.
to come on shows like this. They know better. After all that shit I done talked about being on Martha's Vineyard, Summer House Martha's Vineyard, I know they not gonna ask me to bring my ass on that show.
Didn't Shayna have somebody from the cast last season though in her comments?
Yep, wasn't it you, Shayna?
It was Shayna. So that's you had to have someone to come on the show. Oh Lord, they just asking anybody. I cannot own. But let's move on, y'all. So Brittany and Ty, they go and they meet at the port of Long Beach. I've been there. I love that port. It's actually very pretty. But they get on a boat. They end up going parasailing. She had slight hesitation, multiple walls up, and a nasty attitude that made her people not want to socialize with her. Luckily, Ty was very funny, very loose. You could tell he's like more extroverted. I also think maybe because she's looking for someone that will claim her child as their own, which is unrealistic. Your child is your child. Other people can love them, but they will never love them like it's their child because it's not their child. They can say it, but they won't. Um, but she was a little reserved, but she seemed to have fun parasailing. He doesn't have any kids, and I don't know, they had a good balance. Sometimes I think the calmer people do well with the more animated, extroverted people. I think a good balance is good, but something with her screams off to me, and something with him. I'm like, okay, if you're so friendly and extroverted, bro, why was you so alone for so long? So they both like, there's something to them both that rubs me wrong, but I can't figure it out yet. James, how'd you feel about Brittany and Ty's date?
I thought it was cute. I thought it was different. Um, but just like you, I saw a lot of red flags. I saw a lot of kind of a discombobulation on her side. I don't know what it was about her that just threw me off. Um, there's something bigger here that we're not seeing, and I'm hoping to get exposed on the show because I would like to say I want my kudo points for calling it out. There's something bigger going on with her than she's letting off to believe. And it's seeping through like the surfaces with her. Like when she was talking, like the fact that she's making it so apparent that he has to love her son, and all this kind of stuff. It's like, okay, well, where's your son's father?
Mm,
What is the situation with this? Because I don't want to jump off the deep end and call this something else, but this is give. She reminds me of a lady. When I worked at Starbucks, she was a regular, and she had her son artificially sperminated. Like she went through that whole process, and she had a crush on one of my coworkers, and was really trying. Like with all our money, she was paying for dates. She paid his rent 1 month. It was kind of like she was really trying to get him to like be with her and to be a father. Like she was bringing the baby in, having him hold the baby. It was just like she was doing a lot, but her personality was just like this woman's.
mm.
So it made me wonder, like, where is the son's father? I need you to start talking about that so I can lay that to rest.
Yeah, with me, she more so gave the energy of bitter baby mama a little bit. Uh, because like you said, if you want someone to love your child as their own, if you make a comment like that, usually the dad's not around. So I need to
Mm-hmm.
know why. If this
Yep.
man is living and is not ill, then why? It either has to be he ain't alive, he's not well, or he's been an absent father. But if this man is alive and as well, I don't know, that's a little weird,
It's
but
weird. Yeah, it's weird because then why would that be the operative? Did you have a man around your child that was not supposed to be around your child? Like it's something off with her, and I just can't put my finger on it because it could be a slew of things that could have happened to her. But this is no situation of like I'm meeting a man, I have a newborn child, I really want him to claim my child's own because we're a package deal. I'm like, well, most men know that. That's why if they know you have children they should be understanding with that. So why would he not be understanding with it unless there was a conversation or something has happened? And if that was the case, then you need to cut your losses and go because that's not going to change.
Yeah, I agree. She also had on way too much edge control. But I digress there. Kiki and Brandon, y'all, they meet and he sets up a photo shoot, and this was very strange to me. You set up a photo shoot, which I understood because she's a model, but you ask her to wear lingerie on the first date. If she's not a plus sized lingerie model, then why you got this girl stripping down to her nicks and brickers right in the when you just meeting her for the first time? But she says she gonna go with the flow, which showed me if you're not comfortable, young lady, undressing, then do not fucking undress. Just saying. Whether it be to undress to put something on or whatever the situation, she expressed not like feeling like that was a lot for a first date. And it was like, but I'm gonna go with the flow. No. I don't care if you've been with him for 4 years, 14 years, 24 years, or 70. If you don't want to show your body, then you don't have to show your body. That's how I feel. But their first date was okay. After she takes the pictures, they get dressed and it looks like they have a seat and they're eating and having some drinks. And I'm like, okay, did I miss something? And this is where James and whoever's in the chat could come in and help me out, because he asked her, things were going well. And then there, he's pouring some champagne and he asked her like, oh, are you a drinker? And she was like, I'm working on it. Wait, what? So I'm like, wait, because he says to the confessional afterward, like, oh, it seemed like this may be a concern or a little bit of an issue. But my thing is, I'm confused. Are you against drinking as a whole? Because he was pouring some for himself too. So I see that he ain't sober. So I'm like, are you against women drinking? Does she have, because they've been talking for 4 years, does she have some type of a drinking problem? Like, has she drunk dialed you? Like, and why did she say she's working on it? Why is drinking something to work on? What's really going on? Also, side note, if she is a heavy drinker, that could be contributing to the weight because your pancreas process at the end of the day. So drinking can make you gain weight, cause people who are diabetic to have issues, all types of things. I know people don't like to hear that, they like to turn up, but it's true, it's a fact. So I'm just wondering, like, what's going on? How did you feel about that strange interaction and date, James?
So here's the thing, because you asked us that if you missed something, there were context clues that alluded to maybe she likes the sauce a little bit more than the average Joe. Is
like
because
running to the bar when she
running
came
to
in
the
that
bar
house.
before shaking or introducing herself to the other women, unless that was a bad edit. That was the first sign that says, okay, so she either likes to turn up and, you know, it may not be a good, environment for her. So I think there was a casual conversation around it maybe one other time. And I think for the clarity reason, he brought it up on camera for her to kind of either address it or to kind of maybe seldomly admit it. But even still, I kind of noticed it too. And maybe he doesn't want to go cold turkey and just say, let's limit what you're doing right now so it doesn't turn into a bigger issue. That's what
Mm,
I saw from it because of how she entered the house.
that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. But if you, that is, stop calling these alcoholics and whatever else is going on onto television, please. Because if she does have
Yeah,
a problem, this is like the worst environment for her to be in.
right. Because we know how productions are on these type of networks where y'all just are going to indulge and feed her problem even more. So she makes a complete ass of herself for ratings. And I'm not here for that. I'm not really here for people doing that because why take people out your element who are already supposed to have the element coming on your show? Why
Mm,
feed into that? Like, why make this solely her purpose? Because she has to go back home at some point.
she does.
So I feel like for me, y'all, if you like, that's why I hate doing reality TV shows as recaps because initially I don't like when someone who we don't see have a problem has a problem and it's exposed on TV and then she's forever known as this person and that can have ramifications for when she goes home
Yep, it
because
can.
she's gonna forget there's a camera there at some point
She
if this
is.
is truly an issue. If this is not an issue, then girl, do you. But I'm just saying. But it seems like this was an issue.
But also at the same time, like I don't know. I'm very the way I was raised was a little different, I guess to a certain extent. So I'm like big on like behaving and acting like a lady. And a lady don't run to no bar like that. Maybe if you out with your girls, yeah, but there are cameras in front of you and you about to meet a man, girl. Have some coof. It's just drink. It'll be there when you get back. Um, but let's move it along. As for her dude, I don't have too much to say as of right now. I'm still kind of figuring him out, but I feel like as we progress through the season, I'm gonna have heavy opinions on him as well. But we're gonna get into Irvin. They are not on the photo here, but Irvin, he is the man who's dating Alicia. Both very beautiful people. She's beautiful. He's nice to look at. So I think they align with each other aesthetically. His family is from Haiti, so he is Haitian. That is his culture. And the date that he decided to do with her was to do Kumpa classes, which is a dance. Um, so she complains about having to touch him in the confessional. Like, this is a lot for a first date, which got on my nerves. And I said, oh, I see why this bitch is single. I immediately saw it because I'm like, she seems like the type that she's an attractive woman. I think that she understands her attraction that she has, which is a good thing. Be confident in yourself. But I think it makes her too picky because she ended the date loving the date and having fun, right? But it just looked like before she could even get to the date or through the date, she was trying to look for things to pick at, look for things to complain about. You've been talking to this man for some time. Girl, it's just the dance. She act like he was holding her for like a sensual salsa. Girl, y'all was just dancing around a little bit. She ended up having fun. He's okay. I don't have much to say on him, but I feel like she's picky and could be in her own way of happiness. Now I'll get James's opinion on their little date. How'd you feel?
She reminded me of the last girl who had a problem with the man touching her.
Mm.
She reminded me exactly of her, and I feel like OWN does this on purpose.
Yes.
I feel like OWN does this on purpose because I feel like, why do y'all pick couples or individuals who have a problem with there being an invasion of personal space when you've been interacting with this person for months upon years on FaceTime or some type of video conference call? Why is the idea of them touching you a problem? Why?
Mm.
Unless there's something deeper that you probably have not told him, and that's not a fair thing. And I
Yeah.
say this all the time because a lot of people operate in this way where they don't want to be like physically touched. We are dating. What do you think this is supposed to do?
Yeah, if you're not in a space to deal with physical touch, and we're not talking about like touching you in ways that
Are
would
inappropriate.
or could become sexual, but if
Yeah,
somebody can't hold your hand and you dating them and then things go south, maybe reflect.
right. Maybe or tell them what happened to you. And like a debate, this is what happened to me. And this is why I have a hesitancy to want to be touched because of this situation. You don't have to go into explicit details. You can just say the bare minimum and have them understand because to me, I felt like that was unfair
It
for
was.
him to plan this date and for him to show you the culture, which you said in confessionals you appreciated. And there has to be some level of intimacy and physical touch that he would have to do to complete the dance. And the fact that you were just so uncomfortable with it, it was like, okay, so are you uncomfortable with them touching you, or was he not what you want?
Mm.
It's
All she
one of
could
the
have
two.
said too. I wish she would have said something to him. This is a bit much for me, but I'm gonna try. Like, at least make it clear to him that you're uncomfortable instead of going into it, talking shit to the confessional, and then having him just unaware of what's going on. So it was weird. You could see some of why she may have struggled with dating. You could definitely see it. The last couple, not the last couple. Tatiana and Clay. I'm calling him Clay. Tatiana and Clay go on a date. They do horseback riding. He gave me gay vibes. I'm sorry. I know some women may see his little abs and feel like there's a lot going to it. I don't think he may be fully gay, but he gives me something that don't mind dipping in the warm or the cold pond, however you should choose. Something with him just seemed off, but he liked her a lot. Mentioned because she's a vegan, and he was like, a lot of my friends are vegan, but I'm willing to do that for you, which was thoughtful. But like, food is a big deal. So like, if you're gonna choose to be vegan for you, not just because of your spouse, but okay, because you're gonna be hungry, brother. I'm just warning you. And the stuff that tastes good is just as bad as the meat, so you may as well eat it. As quiet as it's kept. But he tried to kiss her, and she appropriately curved him. They were vibing, things were going well, and you could tell he immediately just wanted to kiss her. But she did what Alicia should have done, and she made it very clear, like, we're not there yet. So he got curved, but she made it clear, like, I'm not comfortable with this yet, which was weird. It was a little weird. Like, you can make it clear that you don't want to be physical or anything, but she was kind of sending the signals as if it would be safe for him to do it. So maybe she's not aware of that, but I don't know. They kind of bored me. How'd you feel, James?
I agreed with you. She definitely gave mixed signals, which to me, when she curved him, I kind of felt it was disrespectful. I did. I kind of felt like it was disrespectful because you were on a show where you are meeting the man that you have spent all this time and have never met him, but on video calls with and everything. Like, I'm telling you, I don't understand the premise of this show with some of these women who like to curve men and say, "Oh, I'm not comfortable. I'm not." What are you not comfortable with? Because he's not saying pull your pants down and let's go on this table. He's just saying, can I get a kiss? Like, can I, a simple little peck would have done just fine. Like, I don't understand. Like, y'all supposed to be in relationships. Y'all saying you're confessional. I'm in a relationship. Y'all not saying y'all are dating. Y'all not saying we are just friends. Hopefully it can turn into more. Y'all are saying y'all are in full-fledged relationships. Last I checked, full-fledged relationships are grounds for being at some point intimate. So I don't get this. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. I just feel like, be clear with your intentions. Don't send mixed signals. You have every right to choose not to kiss him, but don't send the mixed signals, girl. That's
right.
too
Like,
much.
Because to me, y'all, I was watching this and this felt like if he tried to go in for a kiss, it felt like she would have been okay with this. So when she did that, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, you're sending mixed signals to this man.
She is, which makes me look at her like, what are you hiding? What do you need to figure out before you can move forward with them? Because you said to us when it was introduced, this couple to us, that y'all need to meet so you can figure out your future plans, because they live on opposite sides of the country. She's in LA and he's in Atlanta. They're also both in pretty good cities economically where cost is similar, even though they're across the country. So that would be interesting to see how they figure out where they'll live or what they'll do. But I feel like they'll present some shade later on. The last couple that went on the date was Alexis and Chris. I don't like her. I do not like her. I think James knew I would not like this woman. I do not like her. She, in my opinion, is everything wrong with the woman, from wig to makeup to all of it. I don't like this lady. I just don't. She seems, so you come on our screens like extra aggressive, but slightly insecure, talking about your age, pointing it out and all of this, almost like you wanted to put it out there before people attacked you, and nobody was really going to attack you. Okay. Y'all 10 years apart. There's people 20 something years apart in age on TV. Right. So get out your head. I'm just saying, Alexis. But apparently Chris, when she's going to meet him, we learned that he was in the doghouse. He was cheating on her with another woman. This woman was entirely opposite, it sounds like, of what she looks like. So many red flags. Okay. Then they get to the date and they meet and everything's okay. But he tries to do a toast. He planned a nice little date on the beach, which I love dates like this. Okay. I love dates like this. Give me a picnic, some good sandwiches, a beach. Hell, I might just bust it open on the beach. That's just how I am. I love a date like that. But but she stops him. She pauses him during the toast that says, "Don't you owe me something?" I said, "Oh, bitch."
Say you gonna do this right now,
You
like
want to get cheated on again, acting this way.
I honestly I felt like I see why he had opportunity.
Yep.
I see why he had opportunity because that was nasty. That was nasty. That was rude. That was really terrible. That wasn't something that I felt like she should have did right then and there. I felt like that should have been a conversation later. Get to know the man, introduce him, introduce yourself to him like you guys are physically meeting for the first time. I felt like that wasn't something you should have addressed right then and there. Now, as the day goes on, like if it's been a few hours, been like, okay, so what was the deal with, you stepping out? Like, I need to know what does that mean for us going forward? Because obviously you want to give him a chance because you wouldn't be here. So why would that be the perfect time for you to address it? And he was caught off so off guard by it. It obviously wasn't something he was doing like
Recently.
It's something that probably happened a while ago. And also it probably only happened either one time or maybe a second time. It didn't happen like frequently the way she was putting it out there.
So hear me out. I'm not going to call my friends out by name, but I have a friend who's dating somebody, and the person that she's dating is younger, just like Alexis to Chris. And this man, she called me and was like, "Oh, I think this guy is cheating on me because he posted something on social media in a hotel room. He wasn't holding the phone, somebody else was recording him, but he put a caption and in French or whatever. My family's Creole, so I was able to translate that mess. And it translated to some things that weren't good. She has forgiven the man, even though he does this time and time again, all of this. She has forgiven this man. And I think the reason she forgives him, because she says it to me, is because, yep, girl, that's right. Now he gonna bring me food. He been dropping the kids off when I need, putting gas in my car, saving money. So I'll deal with it. As long as he keep doing this, we'll be cool. Alexis gives me that energy. And I have a couple people I've met who do that. Like, they don't like getting cheated on. Don't get me wrong. Nobody enjoys being cheated on. But it seems like she's willing to accept it and will milk it. Like, if you're going to stay with somebody after they cheat on you, in my opinion, you need to actually do the work and work past it. You can't be acting a fool and saying, well, I do this because you cheated on me. You have to work on yourself to figure that out since you chose to stay, because you have the option to leave. So she seems like the chick who stayed with him, because if a man who I never met cheated on me like that, and then I was able to find out, she is a bird. That's why she alone still. Honestly, it's the truth. Like, I won't put her name out there, but she does this all the time. And I tell her time and time again, because every single year is 3 new men. And at least 2 of them do this. And now she's like, whatever, if they cheat on me, I'm going to cheat back and be outside. And then in addition to that, she'd be like, well, whatever, let me call who so-and-so who I ain't spoke to in a month because he know how he did me and let me see what I could get. Like, unfortunately, it'd be women doing that, especially in the Bay. That's why I be on YouTuber in the house with my man, because I don't blend. But yeah, a lot of women do that. And I feel like Alexis gives that energy because she said he's been in the doghouse for a while. And the way that she leaned over and was like, are you going to give me my public apology? Why do you need a public apology? So you want the public to know you've been cheated on?
Yeah, like, well, we didn't know nothing about this. Like, what the hell? Why would he need to give you a public apology when the shit happened in private? We don't know who the fuck you two are. So
they need to break up.
Yeah, it was like, why he? When she said I was pissed, I was like, the fuck, lady, really? Like,
you could be halfway to 100. She's almost been on this planet for 50 years and don't seem to understand.
It's not that she don't seem to understand. It's she has shit twisted. It's like, ma'am, first off, if the circumstance was he had an incident where he cheated and you chose to still pursue him, he's under the impression that you've already forgiven and moved on from this situation. He's not under the impression that you're still holding on to this. And then when we get our asses on national TV, you want to humiliate me by saying, don't you owe me an apology for something? Which is why he was caught off guard and looked at you like that, because I would have looked at you and then I would have read the fuck out of you right in front of everybody. But I'm just like, wow, the audacity and the gall of you, ma'am. Really.
I just don't like it. If you get cheated on and choose to stay, especially with never meeting the dude, which is the situation, you don't stay, then don't expect us to feel sorry for it. And then you come on here acting super aggressive. I don't like whatever's on her head. She looked
No,
like
it was
his
like
mama standing next to him, and he
that's what I
looked
was
like
just gonna
he's
say. It was
looking
like you
at
were
the boy
chastising him
working the
more.
deli counter in Subway. Like, he don't seem to be into her like that.
No, it was like you was chastising him for his action, like you his mama. It was like that's not what he signed up for. I'm sure.
That's what you do when you have a nice date. Why do you need a public apology? That's weird. That's weird. The only way, if I'm cheated on, that I would make it public is if I end up on the news, because I probably would, because I would tear his ass up, because you're not going to do that to me after how many years? Absolutely not. But for her to have never met him, that was just weird. That was weird.
I agree.
Public apologies. Stop asking for public apologies, and stop going on the internet telling people every time he's been cheat. Hell, it's not news if we see it every year. We're gonna move it along to the last part. So James will call it the meat and potatoes. Back at the house, this bitch Charlie is breastfeeding, nipple to pump, and I production, and you can't really keep that silent. Like, if you got the good equipment, sometimes some things will be silent, but you're gonna hear a pump. You're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear the engine whisper, or you're gonna hear the thing. You're gonna hear pump the nipple. You're gonna hear it, and you could tell that she's a pro at this and is a cajillion kids in, because she knew just what to do and was comfortable and peaceful. You ain't shit, Charlie. I'm gonna say it again. I will never let anybody forget it. You have chosen to leave your newborn, who probably is too little to even leave the house like that unless it's going to the doctor, right? You chose to walk away from a child that has barely been on the planet for 30 days to come run after a nigga who ain't even the child's daddy, for one. Two, where is this baby's daddy? Because you just had a baby 1 month ago. Everybody I know that's had babies, right? Everybody I know that's had babies. Even if they have a babies with a man who's shown them they ain't trash, once that baby come, they want to give it one last good try so that they can have a family and all that sad bullshit, right? But it happens. So I don't understand how you say you go out and you got with a man and you slept with a man and you found that man so easy and so fast to sleep with, got pregnant. Where is the father of the child? Does the baby's dad know that this baby is on the planet, or was this truly like a hookup? Like, what's really going on? I have so many questions. But this is where we learn, as James said, that she is a 12-year-old who Jared knew about. He did know about the 12-year-old, right? But now she tells him, by the way, I have a baby. And not just did I make a baby while with you, I also have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. Where are these babies' dads? Do they all have the same dad? Is it the same man? Is it a different man? What is going on? What is going on with that? I can't stand that. And I don't like the idea in those statements of calling like people like your half siblings and that. To me, a sibling is a sibling, but like, you are putting your kids in predicaments if anything ever happens medically, or they need to share a kidney or something. You're lessening their chances of being able to do that, behaving like her. So I'm just wondering what's going on. And this fool Jared, when she tells the camera, I had an idea because, our FaceTimes went from multiple times per day to twice a week. And you stayed with her? Lastly, I may not be a mom, but moms be thinking just because they push something out their coochie or get the baby cut out of them, that makes them something to be respected. And that is not what makes you to be respected as a parent. Why would you lie about your children? I don't know one mom, no matter how they move, how much of a bop they may be, how much they move around. I don't know one mom that's going to lie about having their kids. I don't know a mom that would lie about that. So that's strange. Why are you keeping your kids a secret? Why did you tell him about the 12-year-old, but why did she not tell him about the 7-year-old or the 5-year-old? Did you catch that, James?
Absolutely, I caught it. I'm waiting for you to finish.
Why does he know of one of your
but not the
kids?
other two?
That's so strange.
What or is three? Actually, no, the other three. No, because she didn't tell him about the newborn. So they have the 3 children.
Like, that's so weird to keep 3 existing people who you are responsible for a secret. I can't. So I have no respect for this bitch. She's a fugazi little hoe. That's how I feel. I'm gonna get James's opinion. I don't know why they're on this show. I do not think the relationship will last. If he stays with her, he's a red flag. He also said he has a secret. So get them off my screen. James, go ahead.
Let me explain something to y'all, because to me, this is probably one of the most gaslighting, manipulating things you could do to a person. And the fact is that y'all have to understand, it's not like she's confessing this last baby as if it was like, oh my gosh, there's some deep secret that I've been holding on to. This baby was get back at her karma for thinking this man was cheating on her, which he may have. We don't know yet. But this was saying, oh, I had a women's intuition that I felt like he was doing something. So I wanted to get back, not confirming, not saying, or not bringing it to him to say, hey, is there somebody else? She said she went based on her feelings. So you went and met some random dude, which I think is a lie, and went and had a baby. I feel like this is what I feel like she did. And I could be wrong, and I don't really give a fuck, because this lady full of shit anyway, so who cares? I feel like this lady slept with these two other kids' father as a way to say, because this is easy to do, because access to your ex is easy. All you can do is say, hey, come over real quick. It's about the kids, and you trick them and coerce them. Ain't no man gonna say no to it. And that's what happened. I feel like that's what happened. And if that's really what happened, you need to run, because she's never going to be honest. You need to run anyway, because she's not going to be honest. She wasn't honest about her own living, breathing children who, if you guys get serious, you're going to have to help take care of. Because that's 4 children. So I hope you understand what she's telling you, versus, you probably wanting to be on TV. So you're probably just going to take it, because that's what he gives me. He gives me somebody that wants to be on TV. So he's going to put up with it, even though the shit sounds crazy as hell.
Yeah. I also think she may have told the 12-year-old, because she seemed like the type of bitch that would say to her kid, now don't you say nothing to him about any of this. You can control more of what a 12-year-old will say versus having control of what a 7 and 5-year-old will say. A 7 and a 5-year-old will read us for filth, and there's not much we can do about it or much we can do to prevent it.
Right.
But a 12-year-old is that kid that you expect to have a little more discipline and to do as you tell them. I also feel like the 12-year-old may have a different dad from the other 3.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I'm giving her grace. I really don't feel like that last man was a random dude. I feel like it's somebody she's known, and probably somebody who wouldn't be with her, but didn't mind screwing her. I feel like because that's usually the operation that a lot of white women have, is that they always like some guy that don't want them, but will screw them in the dark, because initially, don't nobody know but them two. So, and if she were to blurt it out, ain't nobody gonna believe her. So it's like, yeah, I feel like it was one of them situations. White women are notorious for that shit. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I feel like that's exactly what I'm looking at. But either way, I feel like that was fucked up. And to be honest, because a lot of people are like, well, he has a secret from her. I don't really care what the secret is. I really don't.
Nothing trumps making a child on someone. Yes. Nothing trumps keeping people who are living, who live with you, who you are responsible for, a secret. That adds so many layers. Where are the fathers of these kids?
He had children too, and he didn't tell her. Even if that was the same thing, she still trumps him, because she had the baby just recently.
This is why I say people who do not have kids and people with kids hate to hear it, because it lessens the availability of people to date. But to stop trying to fucking date people who don't have kids.
Yeah.
That ain't right. Because look at this. Look at this. And for some people, it can work if it's done right. But a lot of times, it's not done right.
It's messy because the parent, who's supposed to be the responsible one because you have the children, makes it messy by trying to keep certain details or keep the feeling of rejection away. So you'll lie and manipulate the situation to your advantage, knowing that one day you're going to get caught. Because I guarantee you, had they not come on this show, she was never going to tell that man she had kids.
Yeah. And that's weird too. Like, how are you even
that
prior? She's making
your children for a man.
He's making it seem like he didn't. Like, he's making it seem like he kind of knew based on the FaceTimes lessening. But I'm like, how did you not catch this sooner, sir? Because she says she has a 7 and a 5-year-old and y'all been talking for some time.
Right.
How
And
you
you
not
mean
gonna
to tell me,
hear?
so when do y'all have conversations? When the kids are at school or when they sleep? Like you don't pick
Because
the
I would
phone?
assume she's at work during that time, and you can't just
Right.
be on FaceTime the whole time at work.
And you
Separate
mean to
from
me
that,
you
it's
ain't
very
heard not one
hard to
children
keep a
scream? Nobody said, Mama, I need some juice. Nobody
their
said that. Like,
kids are loud as hell.
yes. Like, come on.
Kids are
I,
loud as hell.
I
So
give
I don't
her credit.
understand how he never heard that.
Or she doesn't have custody of her children and they at her mama house or they at their daddy's house.
I
It's
don't
something.
understand. I don't get it. But that's the other dynamic. Like this man now has to learn the relationship dynamics with your kids' fathers, what really went on. This is a waste of time. I don't think they'll work. But like
I hope
James
they go home
said,
next episode. I do because I and it's such a and sir, I want you to understand something. You can do so much better.
he can.
You could do so much better. I don't understand. Not to say she's ugly or anything. She's not. She's a beautiful woman, but
Mm.
she has them sneaky ass ways. And sir, you don't look sneaky to me. You look questionable, but you don't look sneaky. There's a difference. And I feel like you wasting your time. And you'd have wasted 4 years of your life when you could be in South Carolina just sowing your right oats to anybody. Because there's plenty of women in South Carolina. There really is. So I
Yeah.
feel like you wasting your time. She done
I feel
sold
like he
you.
has an issue dating black women.
Oh yeah, that's obvious. Because I feel like
Yeah.
the reason why he has an issue date because they'll see him.
Because he's
Cause
all
see, I'm gonna
over,
be real
he's
with y'all. Just
surrounded by them.
the same way you don't think, oh boy, at the bottom here is straight. I don't think he is either. I don't. I don't see it in him. I don't. I don't care how much he was kissing all up on her. That shit don't impress me. I didn't see the man have sex with him and had a baby and still went to that man the same night. I didn't see it.
Mm.
So that it's like, come on. I don't see. I don't see him straight. I just don't. And I feel like that's the confession. I feel like the confession is one, two things. He either had a baby as well, or he been with a man before. It's one of the two. It's something crazy.
And both are unacceptable. They
Absolutely.
just are. They just are. Like
Absolutely. But hey,
these are
she started.
things. These are
So
things that you should tell people off the rip. Your sexual orientation, people have a right to know. And then separately from that, if you have kids or have ever been married, people have a right to know. Because those are things that really determine the trajectory of how your upcoming or ongoing relationship will go. So we'll see.
some of the time, not all the time.
No, when it comes to sexual orientation, if you're
That
trying to
yes.
date
No, I'm talking about
somebody,
like the past
they should know.
relationship wise. Like when you mentioned like someone being married before someone, not if the situation was y'all were just married, there was no kids, no property, nothing with y'all. I don't really feel like that to me
I
is
mean, if people are dating, when you get married, they ask you a question right in front of your spouse if you've been married before.
right.
So just get that out the way. You shouldn't be finding out once you get married that your partner has been married. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's
No, it is,
absolutely
but at the
insane.
same time, it's like I guess because I operate different to me, I don't really care one way or the other because
Well, a
it's
lot
like,
more people do. That's a big
yeah,
deal. And it's something that you're gonna have to find out anyway. And if you dating to marry, then you should know if they've been married before. It's
wasn't
just
one
gonna
of
go better.
like I said, my situation was different because mine didn't count. So it was like,
Even if it's been an old sin, whatever the hell.
yeah, mine doesn't
I
count.
feel like if you love somebody, they should know who you are authentically and what's happened. So they should know. That's a big deal. To choose to go and do legal paperwork with somebody, that's a big doggone deal. They have a right to know. But that's why people be struggling. I think honesty is the easiest thing to lead with. Something I've learned being with the same person so long. The more honesty, the easier shit goes because then you're able to make the appropriate decisions. But everybody feels differently in the world, and that's why bullshit shows like this exist. Because some people will sit, they pull it off for years and years, never meeting their spouse. So I just be praying for people. I really do. But that is about it for this episode. Does this air on Friday or Saturday? Because I did not
I
even
don't
know
even
that.
know, but
I'm
I
gonna
just
figure.
feel like this show is gonna send me through like loops and bounds and all kind of craziness. Y'all really sought out people who had the most craziest situations and craziest behavior traits that I have ever seen anyone have. Like I'm just like, what else can there be? Like seriously, we got the crazy older lady, we got the woman who was hiding children, We have the other woman here who may or may not have a drinking problem because the first thing she did was go to the alcohol. Then we have the other lady here who is sending mixed signals about intimacy and whether or not she wants to be intimate. We have a second lady who's doing the exact same thing, but is not really being forthcoming with her uncomfortability. I need y'all to do better with casting these people. Like, yes, they should have drama, absolutely, but this is beyond.
Well, it's OWN, so unfortunately, this is probably as good as it gets. I'm so sorry to the OWN network, but I like their concepts. I like their ideas, but they really do have to figure out the casting. They just do. It's terrible. But we'll be back again next week, sometime on Saturday or Sunday. It depends. Next week, James also has Love and Marriage Detroit that returns on Saturday. So be on the lookout.
Yeah, I may do a refresher video just so y'all know where we left off at with this, because it's been a while since that show been on. So it's been at least 4 months, right? 5 months.
That shit was on before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, 6 months. So it's been 6 months since that show has been on, y'all. So I will give a little refresher of where we are with the cast. Before we left off, the drama, it was very stupid, but I will give like a refresher just so that way you guys are caught up in Love and Marriage Detroit. And I'm excited about the other show, the other little dating premise show they have on OWN. So
yeah, OWN's dating shows to me give more than Love and Marriage ever could. I think Love and Marriage is dead as a franchise, but that's just my personal opinion. I know people still love it, but I think it's dead. Anywho, y'all, we will see you again next week. James, you also have on Monday, what are those shows? Married to Medicine.
Married to Medicine, because we're ending Married to Medicine, the last episode of the actual show. We are ending the reunion part 3. So Married to Medicine will be leaving us. I still have Real Housewives of Atlanta, which I'm currently doing. So picking up the other 2 shows will be great because then they'll give me a full roster of TV shows. I don't have anything else I am picking up on my channel as of now. If there's any shows that y'all would like me to cover specifically, give it to Mrs. Best. She will send it to me, and she'll probably get a hard no depending on what it is. But doesn't hurt to ask.
Oh my god!
Because y'all want me to pick up the Beyond the Gates show? Y'all, I watched it. That's not for me. That's not for me. I appreciate Kevin Reynolds for that, but I am not picking that up. I'm sorry.
Oh my god! I'm cracking up because I knew you wouldn't. I knew you wouldn't. But he has a lot of content coming, you guys. So I hope that you subscribe to James's channel. The link is in the description of the video. To those who subscribe to both of us now, we appreciate and send love to all of you. Thug Life, and shout out to our replay gang. I hope that those who are not subscribed. If you like what we did, like the video. Shayna_MCD. She will be live recapping this show later as well. So be sure to tune in. Other than that, happy Sunday, y'all. Get your good food in, and I will see you next time. Thank you, James, and adios.
Adios.